What's poppin', guys? It's Banana here, and today we have a really cool team featuring... All the teams are really cool, ain't they? Every time you pull up a video, they're like, yeah, we have a really cool team. Today we're featuring Indeedee Armarouge. Really simple combinations, but we're rocking Trick Room on them. We also have Hatterene to help out with that Trick Room. If you guys didn't know, Hatterene was actually the strongest special attacker out of any Pokemon ever in Sword and Shield. I think now Fluttermane now holds that tag of the strongest special attacker, but Hatterene literally had the strongest special attack stat. We've got Torkoal. He's got Clear Smog to help deal with Dondozo, even though you don't imagine bringing Torkoal against Dondozo. We've got Annihilate, Choice Scarfed out with Final Gambit. We've got Armarouge. We've got Iron Hands with actually Belly Drum. But, I mean, Fake Out isn't always necessary. So let's see what we can do here. Let's go ahead and pop into this team. It's a pretty normal team, pretty used to what we're used to. But if you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, leave a sub. We're trying to build this channel up. We're trying to go up to the moon. So let's get it. All right, I'm digging this team. It's definitely giving Series 1, but it's giving Series 1 and I practice with this, right? So they definitely want to set up Tailwind. I'm thinking they're probably going to go with, they got two Tailwinders. They've got Salamence and Talonflame, so they're going to go with one or the other. They're going to go with probably Golden Go. And so in that case, they know that I want to alternatively set up Trick Room. Now, my thing is I'm like, actually, nobody is stopping the Indeedee Armarouge combination. Hear me out, but I'm like, how are you guys stopping that? I don't see how you guys are stopping that. And once I get Trick Room up, I feel like Torkoal is honestly pretty safe. I think I can really get Trick Room up, bring out Torkoal. I think Hatterene is a fun option as well. I was just looking at Iron Hands like, should he come out? Should Iron Hands join the fight? But honestly, I gotta say, I don't see where the problem of bringing Hatterene is. Because it's Psychic and Fairy, so it's neutral to Meowscarada. I'm like, this sounds like a great core. This sounds like a great team. One thing that's funny to me is that people always pick their teams before me. I don't know how. I'm like, how are you guys like so sure about what you're choosing? How? Like, I'm always like thinking of three or four different options of how I could bring my team. And these guys are just like, yeah, I'm bringing them like this. I didn't even see the Hairy Mama. I didn't expect the Hairy Mama to come out. I didn't expect the Hairy Mama to come out this early. I thought they was going to bring Hairy Mama in the back. They were going to bring Hairy Mama in the back, but they cannot Fake Out. I'm worried, I'm like, do they kill me if I try to Trick Room here? Do they just knock me out? They could go for a Power Gem as well. I could go for an Expanding Force and just do massive amounts of damage. I'm like, hear me out. An Expanding Force just kind of goes crazy into them right now. My other option is I can Protect, get the Trick Room up guaranteed. I think I'm going to Expanding Force because I don't see what the threat is. I'm like, the only thing they have as a threat is Golden Go with potentially Power Gem. And they don't always carry Power Gem, and you might not want to lock into that. So I'm like, honestly, Expanding Force feels pretty safe here. They get a big hot Terra in. It's Terra Dark. That's a hot Terra. That's a hot Terra, y'all. This man said, look, we're cooking with grease today. We're cooking with grease. We making all the foods with grease. Grease only. I'm like, do I have Dazzling Gleam anywhere? Oh, that's gonna... Ooh, boy, I thought that was going into Armarouge. I was like, oh, that's gonna kill Armarouge. Oh my gosh. You know another thing? You guys know another thing? That Hairy Mama is faster than me under Trick Room. I don't know if he's faster than Indeedee, but he's definitely faster than Armourouge. Okay, so in that case, I have to basically go for attacks here and go for my Terra here. Go for attacks and go for my Terra because I can't allow him to knock me out. So I could Helping Hand. I could Dazzling Gleam. I think I'm going for the Gleam. How slow is Indeedee? It's not slower. Indeedee is not slower than Armourouge, which is a problem because Armourouge was faster than Harry Mama. I'm just going to go for the Expanding Force because, oh, I forgot to use my Terrestrialization, but I'm kind of okay that I didn't use it, actually. In a weird way. Kind of okay that I didn't use it because that'll allow me to survive and make it rain. I know that I could have used Armor Cannon, but my logic is I don't want to die immediately. Golly. I'm not using the Terra. Hurts my soul. That's okay. Because now I have the Terra in the back. I'm just like, golly, the Armor Cannon. Not using the Terra. But look at what we got in the back, guys. Torkoal. Big fat Torkoal. That is an Armor Cannon. That's an Armor Cannon, and Hatterene has the Expanding Force to make up for it. So we're good here. All that we gotta do at this point is just go for the Eruption, because nobody's slower than Torkoal. And the Big Fat Gleam. Big Fat Eruption, Big Fat Gleam. And we call it GG's from here. We just, you know, we rub our shoulders. We relax. We did the last move on purpose. We wanted to get a double swap in, ultimately. Armourouge could do nothing against Harry Mama. And so Armourouge was stuck into a place where it's like, okay, well, we kind of have to, you know, Armor Cannon. And instead of that, we just bring in our slower Pokemon, even slower than what we had out before. And we just gets to poppin'. Gets to poppin'. Okay. Oh yeah, that's GG's. Oh, poor guy. He has to take an Eruption and a Dazzling Gleam. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're both stab. Like, I know that. Oh, that is the most. That is the powerfulest, not very effective move I've ever seen. Yeah, Trick Room wins out. Honestly, Trick Room is like my favorite way to play. Love Tailwind. I think without Tailwind, you're at a loss. Without Tailwind or Trick Room, you're at a loss. And I love Trick Room. Okay, so we have I'm looking at this team and I'm like, where are your Paradox Pokemon? I like the team a lot still. I think Palafin plus Pelipper are great combinations. I think Amoonguss is one of the best Pokemon in Series 2 that like surprises people. If you heard that, that was my controller dropping. Maushold, like every single Pokemon is so good on their own, right? So the only Pokemon that appreciates Trick Room is Amoonguss. So I think I'm gonna bring Indeedee Armourouge to try to set up the Trick Room. I'm pretty afraid of Final Gambit, obviously, but there's not a whole lot I can do to that and to stop that. I think Torkoal in the back is relatively safe, but I can definitely get hit with Jet Punches. Hatterene in the back feels really good. Hatterene in the back feels so good. It feels so good to me. I could bring my Annihilate just to knock out their Annihilate, though. But if they don't bring Annihilate, then what does my Annihilate do other than a whole heap of nothing? I think I have to bring Torkoal because my other option is Iron Hands, and Iron Hands is just like, you know, he doesn't do anything to Amoonguss. He doesn't do anything to Annihilate. He doesn't do anything to Pelipper. I'm like, Iron Hands is a tough bring here. He's a tough ass. He's a tall glass of water, you know? Like, people say, oh, he's so attractive, he's a tall glass of water. And I'm like, listen, Annihilate is a tall glass of water in this game because that's a tall ask. That's a tall ask to ask Annihilate to knock out all the Pokemon that he needs to annihilate. Annihilate. to survive. I'm like, did I just say annihilate for no reason? Mousehold could hit me with a Super Fang, and then Dragonite could hit me with a Dragon Claw or something like that, and completely take out my Trick Room. I'd go for the Gleam there. That feels really good. How much damage can Indeedee do? So 116 versus... Whoa, 187. I'd actually rather go for the Trick Room on Indeedee every time. They could go for a Dragon Claw. I'm just like, that's the one thing. I mean, Trick Room and Hurry Up and Expanding Force. I gotta hurry. I don't want to miss my turn like I have a million times in the past. What I'm thinking is that Indeedee... I did not mean to Terra. No. I thought I clicked it and then clicked it off. I was clicking it to determine what Terra... Okay. Well, guys, we are going to be at a loss here, but we're going to turn it into a win. Yo, that Ice Spinner into Armorers could have been like the worst thing ever. The fact that they have Ice Spinner is also very nice for them. Okay, so now I can Gleam, I can't believe I just... I cannot believe I just accidentally terrestrialized this Pokemon. I'm so disappointed. I'm like, wow. Wow. How could you? How could you accidentally do that? I have to double swap. And it's not like I definitely would not have had to do that before. I'm like, yo, I'm so shocked that I accidentally hit that button. But I think it's still, we're not that far behind here. All that we did is show off our terrestrialization, which is a horrible idea because it's like basically all we did was just change the type of our Pokemon, you know? And we did it accidentally, so we could have did that later and gotten more damage in. We could have did that later and taken less damage, but yeah, instead we just did what we did there. Torkoal takes that like a champion, and we can do massive amounts of damage with a Gleam plus an Eruption. Big old fat Eruption coming through here. I love the synergy of this team. Like, this team has a lot of chemistry. The swaps are really good. Like, honestly, the terrestrialization on Armorers was so good because I know he's mad. He's like, yo, why would you Terra on turn 1? And then it's like, you would Terra on turn 1 just to bait me into an Ice Spinner on turn 2 so you can swap in your Fire type. And like, that makes so much sense, but I made a mistake, guys. And then I just capitalized off of the mistake. I'm like Professor X from Powerpuff Girls, you know what I mean? I'm like, I accidentally slipped some Chemical X into my team, and we're doing pretty well on the Chemical X. So that Dragonite is gotta be multi-scale. There's no way he took that little amount of damage. He's gotta be multi-scale, but the Gleam is gonna come through and yeah, that's gonna clean up. That's gonna piece up this Dragonite. So the Dragonite must be banded. It's gotta be banded into Ice Spinner, which really stinks for him because you have to swap out. However, you don't want to swap out at this point, right? Pelipper coming through here. Pelipper can definitely let it fly with a couple of different moves. So we have to Gleam. We do have to bring Torkoal out, which is unfortunate. Like, I'm like, Torkoal might be able to clear Smog plus Dazzling Gleam the Pelipper to the high heavens. But we're going to bring in Indeedee because they cannot change the terrain after this turn. They cannot affect my terrain after this turn. So we bring in Indeedee, bring the terrain back. Ice Spinner is no longer a thing. They're not going to destroy the terrain. I don't know why you kept on destroying the field. Oh my gosh, they went for Extreme Speed. I actually thought they were choice banded and locked into that move, but they were not locked into that move, and they went for Extreme Speed. But since I did my swap, you know what I mean? They couldn't actually do that. Hydro onto Indeedee was very obvious. That was the most obvious play ever. Like, I was actually thinking, should I bring in my Armor Rouge to eat the Hydro Pump since it's Grass Terra type? But, yeah, it just didn't make a ton of sense. We go for the Gleam again. I'm like, I could follow me, but also they're not going to have speed. So I'm like, I honestly could just Helping Hand into this. I could also Dazzling Gleam myself. And the Helping Hand makes so much more sense because Hatterene has almost twice the power of, like, special attack of Indeedee. Plus, Hatterene has Stab. So if I Helping Hand, Dazzling Gleam, that's going to do so much more damage than Indeedee could possibly imagine doing. The Helping Hand, Dazzling Gleam should absolutely pick up the KO. That was such a good play from them. The Wide Guard was such a good play from them. I had a Pelipper that had Wide Guard, so I could have maybe thought of that, but I did not thought of that. I did not thought of that. So, next play they could Wide Guard again. Is Trick Room up? Yep. Oh, God. That's horrible. Alright, so we Trick Room here. We Trick Room and follow me. That's all that we do. Trick Room and follow me. Duh. I know that they're picking their plays fast, too. They know what they want to do. Yeah, you Drain Punch and what? Hurricane? Hurricane on him? Hurricane on my boy? I don't think the Hurricane knocks me out. Come on. Come on, Hatterene. Don't get the confusion either. Don't you dare. There we go. There we go. And so now it's GG's from here. It was scary G's before. I really want to Armor Rouge it out. I really hate the idea of bringing Armor Rouge before Torkoal when I could just destroy their weather. But I really want to Armor Rouge it out because I want to make sure that I can Expanding Force. I have to Psychic into Annihilate. If Annihilate has Focus Sash, then so be it. Right? Just so be it. And aside from that, I just go for the Expanding Force. Yeah, you can Wide Guard all you want, but honestly, the Psychic is going to KO your Annihilate. And so that's what I was saying. I was like, this is a free turn for me. Like, yeah, they get the Wide Guard off, but unless Annihilate has Focus Sash, which who carries Focus Sash on Annihilate? You know, we get a nice little KO here. Hatterene does lose its HP. Hatterene does faint here, but that's kind of nice because now we get Torkoal out with a perfect Trick Room up. And at this point, they're probably thinking I'm just going to disconnect. They're probably thinking I'm just going to disconnect. Screw this guy, Banana, because I can't. I'm a 7-year-old, and if I lose, then I can't win, and I'm just going to quit the game. So I would say GG's to our opponent, but, you know, he quit early, so we get a win. We get a win regardless. Let's get into the next match. That was fun. I feel bad. You know, I want to admit I did say something rude to my last opponent, and I apologize to the community. Because, you know, at the end of the day, GG's to my opponent. GG's to my opponent. Whether you quit the game early, whether you rage quit the game early, whether you let me knock out all of your Pokemon, regardless, it should always be GG's to your opponent. Make sure you guys are taking that with you. Alright, so looking at their team, they definitely have a Tailwinder that they would like to bring out, but they also realize that I have Trick Room options. So realizing that I have Trick Room options, they're probably going to want to go for their big old Kowtow Cleave, big old Dark type attack into my Indeedee. I can actually Terrestrialize my Indeedee to avoid that. I'm actually thinking Hatterene sounds so good into this team, and I don't love that I'm bringing the same core 4, but I'm like, Annihilate, you're specific. Iron Hands, you're specific. Like, Iron Hands has a Citrus Berry instead of Assault Vest. He's specific, guys. He's specific. Torkoal sounds just so good here. I'm like, there's nothing that's stopping Torkoal. Not even a Talonflame stops Torkoal once Trick Room is up. I gotta go with it. You know, sue me, guys. Sue me. But yeah, no. Yeah, in the last game, I wasn't upset or anything. I was like, oh man, why would you? You know, I was surprised that he left the game, but I was also trying to let everyone know that I'm like, I don't condone with leaving the game early. Like, if you lost the game, just lose the game. You know, don't airplane mode your Nintendo Switch. Don't close out of Scarlet Violet. You know what I mean? Just lose. If you lose the game, just lose it gracefully. I feel like is a very nice thing to do. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm not gonna lie, they can do so much damage that I don't know if Indeedee realistically can get a Trick Room off comfortably. I think what I can do is I can follow me and Trick Room, because Espathra plus Sandy Shots can knock out one of my Pokemon automatically. Like, they can knock out one of my Pokemon automatically. And that, my friends, is pretty scary. So I'm going to follow me plus Trick Room, force them to attack Indeedee, because if you're going to knock anybody out, it's not going to be my Armor. Yeah, no. Actually, Earth Power plus... This was the worst play they could have made. I thought they were going to use Espathra to use that move that Espathra has, Lumina Crash. Lumina Crash is a stab attack that sharply lowers your opponent's special defense. So it double lowers your opponent's special defense. I thought they were going to double lower my special defense and then hit me with whatever move Sandy Shocks has, right? And I was just going to go down infamously. They did not do that. I don't think they're faster than me, so I think a Gleam plus Expanding Force actually does work here. I think a Gleam plus Expanding Force works pretty well here. Yep, there we go. I should have just went for the... Oh my gosh, I should have just went for the extra damage. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, I really thought we were going to knock out there. That's super unfortunate. Armorer survives, which is the most amazing thing I've seen all day. That's the best thing I've seen all day, because I could have obviously went for the doggone... I could have went for the Helping Hand to knock them both out. I also could have went for my Terrestrialization, which was Grass, to do even so much less damage from that Earth Power. And I'm just silly and sad that I didn't do either of the two. I really thought Gleam was going to knock out with this. I'm so used to Indeedee doing extra amounts of power with the Expanding Force. Like in Sword and Shield, Indeedee was such a monster, you know? Indeedee's just sleeping right now, you know? In Scarlet Violet, Indeedee's just taking naps. Indeedee's like, I'll come out on the field, I'll give you the Psychic Surge, and then... like, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed from there. Now, Indeedee, of course, has Helping Hand, it has Following Me, it has Protect, but those are its top three moves. Its top three moves are non-attacking moves. I think we have the Helping Hand here. How many terms of Trick Room do we have? 2. Helping Hand into Armor's Expanding Force sounds really good. We can do a lot of damage as long as they can't terrestrialize into Steel type. Indeedee wakes up. Let's go, Indeedee. You're so good. Indeedee is... Oh my gosh, Indeedee is making me so proud right now. I'm loving what Indeedee is doing. I couldn't go for the... Even though Flutter Mane Protect, I still had to use Expanding Force because that Pokemon, Baxcalibur, has an ability that allows him to... Baxcal gets access to Earthquake? That's great! But he has Baxcal also has an ability that makes it so that if he gets hit with a fire type attack, it actually increases his power. Torkoal is mad slow here. I could Gleam it up with Hatterene. I think Eruption with Torkoal feels a lot more safe. The reason why, hear me out, is I only got one turn of Trick Room left, which means I only have one turn where I can really pop pop them up, right? If I bring out Hatterene, Hatterene can pop them up, but then next turn Torkoal comes out. I don't have Trick Room. Fluttermane gets their Protosynthesis, whatever that does. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I think we have to pop them up. Go for the Eruption plus the Helping Hand. And I think, honestly, here, I'm going to Terrestrialize Eruption. I've never used Torkoal before, guys. I've never used Torkoal before, but it's pretty normal to lose to Torkoal. I feel like Torkoal, if you look up the Picolytics of Torkoal, it'll probably tell you, like, okay, Torkoal is on 8% of teams. But to me, I'm like, Torkoal is on 21% of teams. Torkoal is 21 Savage. Like, he's on 21% of teams. And he always terrestrializes into fire type. He always hits me with an Eruption. And it always kills both of my Pokemon like it's about to do right now. I mean, Fluttermane has Focus Sash. That's probably why they weren't worried about a Protect. But these have been really quite quick matches. Oh my god! Okay. GG's to my opponent, guys. We did our thing. We did our thing. We absolutely did our thing. They hate hard Trick Room. They hate it. They hate it. They can't stand it. They don't know what to do with it. They said throw it in the garbage. Yes, sir, ski. So we went 3-0, of course. Not super surprising for us. Let me jump back into the game. You saw the other teams on the sides. I was using Andy La VGC's game or team. But yeah, basically this hard Trick Room team just went so ham. It went so ham. We already know that Indeedee Armorage is a very hard combination to get past. I do feel a little bit cheesy and cheeky whenever I use it, but I mean, Annihilate and Iron Hands just didn't serve a purpose today. Y'all saw the matches. They didn't serve a purpose. I've never in my life used a Torkoal. I've never ever used a Hatterene in this game. I never used Hatterene for Trick Room in the Sword and Shield. But Hatterene is just so good. I always knew that it was so good, special defensively and special attacking wise. Honestly, this team, every single one of the Pokemon on this team has so much power. Like every single one of this team, Pokemon on this team, excuse me, have knockout power. So it's just an amazing team to use. I hope you guys absolutely enjoy it, and shout outs to the creator, obviously. Aside from that, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, comment, or a sub. We will be making more videos. My goal is to make a video every day until April. All right, guys, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day.